Welcome to the New Corner After Dark. We're not only talking about all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Seamus.
And today, people are back at it again with another episode of Indie Corner After Dark. A long-awaited episode because we tried doing this one last week and it shit the bed for reasons. God doesn't want us to do this review.
We've tried to do it like 3 weeks in a row, I think, since it dropped, and we were just
Well, granted, I didn't watch it on time, so that's why.
I didn't either. I watched it like 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Yeah, but today we're back again with another review, and obviously, if you can't tell by the background here behind us, we're going to be covering the highly anticipated movie that everyone knew was coming out. Clearly, because there isn't a writer's strike or anything happening right now that distracted everyone from not watching the movie. But we're talking about the recent DCEU movie, one of the last DCEU movies, Blue Beetle, directed by Angel Manuel Soto and starring our boy, our guy, our Lord and Savior, our Generator X, Xolo Mariduena, and George Lopez, and a bunch of other people. So Seamus, I mean, you're a Blue Beetle fan. We talked about this when we did the review. We did the reaction to the trailer together. So I hope you're excited. I hope you're excited to talk about this movie.
I'm always excited to talk about Blue Beetle whenever, wherever, however. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm excited to talk, whether it's Ted Cord, whether it's Jaime. I love Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle's the shit. But yeah, we'll get right into it. So we'll just do first impressions, and I'm gonna just kind of go through kind of like the history of like the adaptations of Blue Beetle, because sometimes, I mean, he's a popular character to a degree, but like still there's not a lot of people that know about him. So I got some slides set up. But yeah, so Blue Beetle was originally introduced in his own comic back in 2008, written by Keith Giffen and drawn by John Rogers, and it was basically just like he was a character created after the aftermath of Infinite Crisis, so to be kind of like their own version of like a Peter Parker Spider-Man type of character. I feel like it's kind of funny, James. I kind of realized because we made some jokes about Sideways, and Sideways was also a creation after an event. So like,
yeah,
I think
and he had a very similar like character to Jaime, where it was like basically like Spider-Man for DC. But
yeah, pretty much.
Jaime actually worked.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this time it actually worked. That's his initial debut, his own series back in 2006. That's when I started knowing about Blue Beetle, when I kept seeing ads for it in DC Comics when I was reading them when I was a kid. But mostly like in terms of like his actual introduction, how I found out about him, it was in Batman Brave and the Bold. It was the first episode when he was voiced by Rolf Friedel, aka Batman Beyond, and that's when I was like, this character is so fucking cool that I fell in love with him. I was like, he's just so fun. He's so lighthearted. He's like Spider-Man, but with a fucking symbiote suit and shit. I thought it was awesome. And then he even got more prominence when I think this was like how he blew up even more when they put him on Young Justice season 2, and then obviously split into the Young Justice season 3, because Young Justice season 2 was like, it was mostly focused on him for the most part, and him in the Reach, and it boosted him into prominence, I think, in terms of like DC fandom. So yeah, Seamus, what are your thoughts on all the stuff that I mentioned just now?
I was the same way, where I started with ads in those DC comics, and then when I saw Brave and the Bold, then I was like, oh, maybe I should actually read those comics if he's this cool, and he was, and it's really good. I wish they do more with him though in the comics, because they kind of have like he is like a very popular character, it seems, but like it just seems like DC never knows what to do with him. And I feel like that translates very well to this movie of his. He's like it was a very popular character, but DC kind of didn't know what to do, so they just kind of were like, here it is,
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And I mean, he does have comics out right now, and like I was a couple months ago, I was reading his series Graduation Day that I thought was like pretty cool. I read like the first like 2 issues. I dropped off of it though, but yeah, he's a great character, and I definitely he deserves to be put on the forefront more. And I feel like right now in DC Comics are trying to do that. So, which is, I mean, it's long overdue, but it is what it is. And also I forgot to mention that he also debuted as a playable character in Injustice 2, which took a lot of the fight scenes in this movie took inspiration from, which I thought was a great choice. So
I feel like more movies need to take from fighting games in terms
So
of
yeah.
fight scenes.
Yeah, they should do that more. But yeah, that's just a brief rundown. But yeah, when it comes to this movie, I mean, I didn't think it was going to happen. Like, you know, I never thought that they would do like a Blue Beetle movie. Like, what the hell? Like, come on, especially having it be Jaime at the forefront. I was like, okay, let's go. And then the thing is, like, originally supposed to be a TV show. It was like before the Discovery merger, and they were going to be putting, you know, just have it be a TV show dropped on HBO Max. Which honestly I thought it was a spin in the face because, like, well, that's how they think about minority characters. They don't have success in theaters. We'll just drop them on a fucking shitty streaming service instead. But yeah, but obviously our boy James Gunn, our Lord and Savior, when he got put on to as a co-CEO of DC Studios, he was like, you know what? No, like, what are you doing? You have Blue Beetle. Like, come on, he's a great character. And obviously, I can see I have plans for him maybe. So like, I'm just gonna up the budget a bit and make it into a movie. And honestly, I think it translated a lot better because I was worried that, like, when I was watching the movie, it was gonna be a kind of more like a TV quality due to the, like, you know, the way it was shot previously. So it translated pretty well. But yeah. I mean, I don't have anything else to say, but so we'll just move on to the positives. Want to just go into what we liked? But yeah, so we'll just move on to the positive stuff. And I have some slides on here too that kind of correlate with this. I want to say just real quick that I love the fact that they could have easily just gone full on Green Lantern and done like a full CGI suit for Blue Beetle, but the fact that they decided to go entirely practical with it, with some CGI added, with some visual effect added to it, that was a great choice. The suit looks incredible. I think it's probably one of my favorite like suits in comic book movies because it's extremely accurate to the comic. And plus, like, it fits Xolo really well, and also like seeing, and we talked about it when we did our trailer reaction, which I put the little pop up in the corner. But like, when you see this man transform for the first time into the suit, like, it is fucking terrifying. It literally like treated like as a straight up like body horror, melts onto his body, and it's just like it's sick as hell. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. What are your thoughts on the suit, James?
I think it's one of the best looking DC suits that they've had. Like you said, really like that it's practical, and they went practical with it because it makes it look way better. You know, I normally bitched about lines on the suit, like the MCU lines and all that like over designed stuff, but I feel like this is like very solid silhouette and like the way that it looks alien, and it's supposed to look, you know, like look kind of like over designed because it's technically like a living organism. So I thought they nailed the suit, honestly. Going beyond that with like other positives, I think that the family aspect of the movie was probably the strongest aspect. Like the emotional pull of the movie with Jaime and his family was like super strong, I think. I think there they are. I think that was like one of the stronger parts of the movie. I think the action was fucking it was some well choreographed shit. Dude. I love that. I was just watching like big screen Power Rangers for like most of the movie, and I was like, this is what I came here for. This is what I came here for.
Same vibe.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, that's all I needed is like Jaime like chilling with his family and doing Power Ranger shit. That's what I got. Yeah. So
and just to elaborate on that, like, and I also have the slide up here, but yeah, no, I thought the family dynamic was like the best part of the movie. Just him and his relationship with his family, and especially because, like, you know, it was very relatable because the purpose of Jaime throughout the course of stories that, like, yeah, he just graduated college. He thinks he can, like, you know, he's gonna get a great job to then you know, give back to his family who sacrificed so much to him, which is pretty much like, you know, any first generation kid can relate to that, and I really like that a lot. But at the same time, just like, you know, it's like just seeing like their love for each other and like them standing by him when he's going through this unsuspected phase in his life. I thought was really well done. And just like it was like it really kind of showcases how like just the small things that like each family member will do. Like I think it's just like in terms of like their dynamic and how they treat each other and some small things that they do together. I think is what made it feel more real to me. So yeah, I really like that a lot. And I think it's like I was kind of worried because in the comics and in like what we've seen him in like in Young Justice and in Batman Brave and the Bold, his parents don't know that he's like a superhero, and the fact that like it's more of a secret identity, kind of more like Peter Parker. So the fact that he kind of changed that to be like like him having his family know that having his family know that like he's going through this like transitional phase in his life with like Kaji Dog and attached to it, but kind of makes it a lot more personal and a lot more real, and I like that a lot. I was like, and especially like nowadays where like secret identities don't really matter. Like it makes sense. It makes sense why they would do that change. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, but the family dynamic is great, and also like Seamus said, the action. Like I thought the action was so well done, and like they literally straight up said, like I saw a quote I think on like CBR or like IGN from a director, but they took all of their inspiration from Injustice 2, which like is a great way to model fight scenes for comic book characters is after a video game. Yeah, it looked awesome. Like the different like weapons he was conjuring up straight out of the comics, like the huge ass staples, like he even was using that stuff. Like, and I like the fact that
I like the staple shout out.
Yeah, the staples, man. Like that was really cool, and like the showcase, like his conflict with Kaji Da, like how every time Kaji Da wanted to fight somebody, wanted to kill him, he was making up like these crazy ass like lethal ass weapons, and it would be like, no, we don't kill. Conjures up like a vibration cannon or something like that, and I was like, that's just so cool, and like he looked great, like he moved really like graceful, and like it's really cool with the agility of the character a lot. So I thought the action was super well done for sure. But yeah, any more positive statements you wanna touch on at all?
I like Xolo. I think he gotta be in more shit. Like they got cast him.
Yeah. We'll get more into Xolo, but
he nailed the choreography, which was what we expected given watching him on Cobra Kai nail all that shit. So.
Oh yeah. No, the karate training really paid off here, I think. But yeah, I mean, I guess we want to go into negatives. I'm trying to think. I thought I had some negatives when I walked out the theater, but I don't really know. Like, do you have any negatives you want to start off with? Like,
I mean, like Susan Sarandon's character is like okay. Like that's the most the biggest negatives I have about this movie are just like that's okay. Like it's there, it serves its purpose. Like who was I even forget the guy's name. The other, what the hell was his name?
Yeah.
I'm forgetting on his name.
Yeah, Carapax.
Carapax. I totally forgot about Carapax. He was all right. Like it wasn't bad. It was just like, he was just supposed to be like the big bad that Blue Beetle actually has to fight. You're like, maybe the only negative I had was like it was super confusing to have Carapax with the Blue Beetle suit, but calling it all the OMAC like project, and I was just like, that's like you are combining like 8 different comic things to make something that doesn't make sense anymore. But like even then, that's like a little nitpick,
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'll say one thing. In terms of a negative, I felt like in terms of that overall like story, like it felt very like cookie cutter and a little bit predictable because we've seen like they pretty much went on the safe side with I think like the story beats like in terms of like an origin for a superhero character, especially a young superhero character.
I mean,
like,
you even said it. You said it before we started recording.
That was like maybe the only gap I had with it.
It was like Ant-Man. You said it was just Ant-Man before we started recording, and I was like,
it's
yeah.
It's literally Ant-Man. Because I literally saw a video where just like a guy was just like going through the entire beat of the story of the movie, and it was contrasting with what happened with Ant-Man, like a guy who is having tough luck in life and wants to provide for his family. That's Scott Lang. He gets a bug themed costume, and it just like. And it just goes after the CEO that wants to use his suit or the technology to take over the world. Like, like Darren Cross and Victoria Core. Like it's the same beats, and I wish like in terms of the story they could have come with something more. I mean, have some of those beats in there. I mean, you kind of have no choice, but because it's an origin story, but have a little more creativity with it, like or something a little more unique, but doesn't take away the fact the movie's still good. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say on the negatives. I mean, maybe I guess the pacing, I guess too, was like a bit off. Yeah,
a little funky, but like even all the negatives that we're saying are just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's better than some of the other movies that get released.
Yeah, better than The Flash, I'll tell you that.
Oh, don't stop! Don't even say that.
We already did it. We already did a review for that.
I know,
check
but
that out
every time you say it, I'm gonna
about how shitty The Flash is for like.
Yeah, I'm gonna get stuck for like half an hour again, just sitting here just talking about The Flash, about how much I hate The Flash.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, so we'll just get up to transition from the negatives, and because James talking about Xolo so much, I mean we'll just move on to characters. So yeah, it's the character section of the review. Just to get more deep dive, just break them down more. But yeah, our boy, the lead character, Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, played by Xolo Mariduena. Listen, man, I've always liked Xolo because Cobra Kai, huge Cobra Kai fan. Love Miguel as a character, and I literally, when this movie was announced that they were gonna do it, and they were using Jaime, I'm like, immediately I was like, they gotta bring Xolo. Like he practically plays Jaime on Cobra Kai anyway. Like the character is practically like Jaime. He was born to play Jaime, I think, and I loved him in this movie. Again, that relationship he has, trying to provide for his family, even though the educational systems failed him like it has failed everybody. I think it's great. I love his relationship with not just his family members, like specifically like Emma as a whole, but like his sister. I love his relationship with his sister because it reminds me of me and my younger sister, and our dynamic a lot. How we butt heads and all that stuff, and she's tries to be right all the time, which it's most of the case she is. It's just like I thought it was really well done. And his relationship with like he played a victim teenager so well, be like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening to me? Like I like that a lot. And yeah, like I think it's just what makes him shine more as the character, just in the role, just his charisma. Like he just bleeds charisma. You root for him the moment like he steps on screen and like he goes through this journey. And yeah, I really liked him a lot. And he looked great. I think it was really dope. So James, anything more you want to say on Xolo in performance?
I mean, I talked about it earlier. I think he's one of the best casts in the DC so far. I completely understand why James Gunn would want to keep him on after Aquaman 2 drops and they start doing the new shit, because there's no reason to recast him, honestly, when you have something like this well cast. Like I know I don't get why. I heard all those rumors of like Gal Gadot staying on as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Instead of Xolo, because I'm like, I think one of those castings is not really that good, honestly. But yeah, I fucking love him. I love Jaime. It was perfectly written. Very well done.
Very well done. I agree. But yeah, I got nothing else to say on him. Xolo is just great. He shines in the role. Yeah.
That's the whole thing about this movie, is that like it really is just like, hey, the movie's good. It was just released at a bad time in a bad spot. That sucks.
They got the short end of the stick, unfortunately.
That's like we could just summarize this whole review as just, it's good. Go see it if you want. That sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we could just move on then. We just know that he's great. Pretty much. That's pretty much it. But yeah, so next to the characters, I actually have them as one bracket just because I feel like you can't talk about them separately. You gotta have them as a whole. But the entire Reyes family, which is composed of George Lopez, who plays Ruby, Belissa Escobedo, who plays Milagro, Damien Alcazar, who plays Mr. Reyes, Adriana Barraza, who plays Mrs. Reyes, and then I think Elpida Carrillo, who plays I think she's Nana Reyes. I thought they were great. I want to talk about George Lopez first. I haven't seen George Lopez do any acting in a long time. Like, I mean, so it's been a minute since I don't remember the last thing I saw him.
I was gonna say,
know it's been
yeah.
a long time.
It's kind of funny that he just came out of nowhere and was like, "Yeah, I'll be a movie."
Yeah. 'Cause I know he's been doing his own like entrepreneurship work, and like he's done his like I think he went back to stand up for a brief time. So I was seeing him post like acting post like Shark Boy and Lava Girl and the George Lopez show. I'm just like, bro, like how I don't know if he still got it or not. Then seeing him in this movie, I was clearly wrong because he's hysterical in this. He's so funny, and like it's just, and I loved he had really good chemistry as like the crazy uncle to Jaime. I think it's into Trujillo. I thought it was so well done, and the fact that like there's some like plot holes where like he like even though he's like the crazy uncle, he also is like I guess like a mechanic scientist because he understands all the technology that's being showcased, and like it makes no sense. But because it's George Lopez, I didn't care. I was like, no,
I like it because they're making him. They basically were like, George, you're playing a crazy mad scientist.
Yeah,
who's like also like an uncle who like shit post QAnon theories on Facebook. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's exactly what I needed. It's like, and I feel like him, and this extends to the rest of the family, is that they aren't like, they don't overstay their welcome. They don't like. There's not too much of them. They don't do too much. They hit the exact like sweet spot of like time and like intensity in terms of like, you know, appearing and being a character. And I think all of them fit their roles really well. They all interact well with each other. It actually felt like they were a family instead of like some other movies where it's like they just say they're a family and then they all act kind of like separately. But yeah, I really liked all of them together.
Yeah, and especially because like even though like they're not just like a great family, but they're like low key kind of capable. Especially how they made them all capable. Like obviously George Lopez, the crazy mad scientist who could make a mechanic who can make an EMP for no reason. I love that. But also like when there's the third act when like they have to rescue Jaime from Victoria and Carapax, like they end up like utilizing like all of like the technology that's a part of Ted Kord's Beetle cave, especially Nana, when Nana pulls up that minigun. I died, dude. I was like, this is too funny. Like I was like, it's amazing. And like we know Milagro as well, just Belissa Escobedo, and I think this is like one of her first like acting roles. I thought she did a really good job. I thought she was very like has a lot of charisma, a lot of heart, along with Xolo, and they have really good like sibling chemistry together. And I thought she was one of the standouts too. She's also pretty funny as well. And yeah, like when especially that scene where obviously it's a spoiler review, everyone, because you had time to watch this movie. It's especially when like Mr. Reyes dies, and I thought that was like again very cliche, but like due to like the way their each of their performance of like their father figure, the patriarch of the family, like passes away after he had a heart attack before and almost lost him, and Jaime didn't know about that, which is like something that immigrant families do in terms of when their child is away in the world and wants them to succeed and want them to worry about home life. But yeah, like when they lose him, when they actually like lose him, and it's like shit. Like I actually like some of those emotional moments that they show with the family, especially with their loss. I thought like that kind of hit. Like I was a little teary eyed a little bit, but then they kind of show especially with Nana's character when we found out she's like a fucking guerrilla fighter who fought in the revolution. How they're able to bounce back from their loss, and then obviously. When she said we rescue Jaime, grieving comes after. Know what I mean? And I was like, damn, like this is so real. I was like, wow. But yeah, I thought the Reyes family was great in general. I mean, Mr. Reyes, I thought was, and it was also really interesting. Well, it was really fun, father figure, and obviously wants the best for himself and his family, even though they're at risk of losing their house and all that. And just I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very real. The whole family is just real as shit, and that was one of the best parts about it. So yeah. All right. So you have any more thoughts, Seamus, on the Reyes family going forward? All right. No. All right. So we're gonna go on to the next. So there's one of the supporting characters, Jenny Cord, played by Brazilian actress Bruna Marquezine, who's again wifey, man, beautiful, stunning, Brazil, killing it out here. I thought she was cool. I mean, it was weird because obviously Ted Kord doesn't have a kid, in the comics. So I was gonna be like, she's just, like why like original character to like make to substitute for not having Ted Cord in it, because in this movie Ted Cord has been missing for some time, even though like he has been Blue Beetle. That was a confirming like he was Blue Beetle in the past, but he's just been missing forever. Yeah, I mean, I thought she was okay. I mean, I thought she was all right. I mean, I liked her chemistry with Xolo, and like him, kind of being her knight in shining armor throughout the first half of the movie, and then it kind of was a flip when she has to end up saving him. And I thought that was really nice. Change of pace throughout the course of the movie. I mean, I mean, I have really nothing to say, but she was cool. I mean, she was all right. I mean, she's kind of served her purpose as a supporting character. I mean, she's beautiful, so I mean, like that's kind of why they put her in the movie, like as like the love interest. But yeah, I did think that I liked hearing how Jenny viewed her father viewed her father, and how like and that kind of showcased her relationship with Susan Sarandon's character Victoria Cord, where like she's a lot like her dad, and Susan Sarandon and Victoria Cord hates her father. So like I like kind of that conflict between Jaime has his crazy uncle who loves him, but that she has her shitty aunt who like hates everything about her because she won't be like her. She won't be like her father that she can't stand. So her brother that she can't stand. So I kind of liked it a lot. So yeah, well, what are your thoughts on Jenny Cord?
I mean, you kind of hit everything I was going to say. She's good. She does a really good job, in her role. Serves her purpose. That's it. Enough said.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. I like the dynamic between her and Susan Sarandon, and her being Ted Cord's daughter. Very interesting. But all that stuff, I think, is more set up for maybe future stuff than it is utilized in this movie. But,
yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah. Well, I feel like and we'll talk about it when we talk about like the future of this character in the DCU. I feel like she's gonna unfortunately get the short end of the stick and be not crossover, because I don't think James Gunn sees a purpose with her at all in terms of like the character of Jenny Cord. But I could be wrong. He could weave her in no problem. But I mean, I don't just see it likely. But I do like Bruna Marquezine's performance in it. She does a good job. So yeah, I mean, the last set of characters are the bad guys. So Victoria Cord and Carapax, played by Susan Sarandon and Raoul Trujillo. I mean, you kind of hit it on the head earlier, Seamus. Like again, just like George Lopez, I don't remember the last time I saw Susan Sarandon act in anything other than like I think it was Speed Racer, either Speed Racer or Very Deep Cut.
2008.
Yeah, the Speed Racer or Very Deep Cut. I don't know if you ever watched Mr. Woodcock with freaking Billy Bob Thornton. But yeah, I was like when she was cast, I was like, huh, like why, why? I'm not granted. Susan Sarandon is a great actress. I'm not her as an actress, but I'm like, why make Victoria? I mean, why have her as the villain of the movie? And she's an original character to the film, so. Which they just recently weaved into the new Blue Beetle comic. So, I mean, and honestly, throughout her role, throughout the course of the movie, I thought she was all right. But I did love the fact that they just made her a racist Karen throughout the course of the entire film. I
thought that was the most inspired choice, honestly.
Yeah, like she's racist. She's xenophobic. She like is she.
But like,
she
and I
every stereotype
I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, why would you have her be Ted Cord's sister though? Because that doesn't make any sense. Knowing Ted Cord and like
knowing Ted Cord,
his origin, you're like, that's just very weird. How like, what was she just born evil?
Yeah, like they kind of made it seem that way. It's like, yeah, Ted like because she like I think her origin in the movie was that obviously her father created Core Industries. Then he had two kids, Ted and Victoria. They were both the heirs, and obviously because Ted, I think either because I don't know if she was the oldest or the youngest. I think she's the oldest, but because Ted was a man, she's like, oh, because Ted was a man, that's why he got the CEO spot, and I got the short end of the stick. It was like, no, her dad chose him because he's a nice person and isn't an evil megalomaniac. So, which is what they addressed throughout the movie, which I thought that was cool. So,
and Ted Cord already has like a evil family member with his uncle Jarvis. So I don't know why they didn't just like make it like, you know what I mean?
Maybe,
like, Just have her. It just seemed like a very odd, like, weird thing to change for no reason. That didn't, you know. But I liked her performance in it. I liked the character that we got. It just is a very weird, like, you know, creation of.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, and I really like her relationship. I mean, not really relationship, but I like her thing with Carapax, where like at the end of the movie, when like, you know, they do like the theme of like killing versus like, you know, keeping people alive, and you know, obviously when Mr. Reyes dies, he blamed Carapax and just the Cord family on his death, but then when, you know, when they merge and Kaji Da stops Jaime from killing him and actually gets a chance to see through his mind and be like, oh no, like this man is just a victim of abuse and just Victoria Cord's like onslaught just as much as Jaime and his family are. And I'm just like, I kind of really like that. It made him, it kind of gave him a good relation between Carapax and Jaime. That was really good. And kind of tragic. Like his backstory was tragic as shit, and it was all because of Victoria's bullshit and crazy and obsession with the Scarab. That was really cool. That was really well done. But yeah, the whole OMAC project thing, because obviously in the comics, I think we have Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, Ted Cord and Booster Gold had incidents with the OMAC project before. I think, isn't that one of the reasons why Ted Cord died? I think was because of the OMAC project.
Yeah, it was when it was Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, it was Maxwell Lord. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the fact that like they have her be the reasons for the OMACs, and you know, kind of like start that shit kind of early with Jaime. That was like it was a wild choice, but like it was an ant choice. But I understand why they did it, because like with Blue Beetle, what else could you do? So, but yeah, I thought the OMACs look cool. Like I thought, like, you know, even like before she gets the Scarab and uses its code to perfect the OMAC. I thought like Carapax in like his regular OMAC form in the beginning, that was kind of boss, and then when he transitions to like, you know, that crazy OMAC later on, that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, her character was pretty cookie cutter. I mean, she served her purpose, and you know, she died at the end, so like we're not seeing her again. But like I thought it funny that like just fucking just Carapax had to, like, because of the trauma, he just blew himself up and just dragged Victoria with him.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, cool, that's funny, I guess, you know.
But yeah, I don't have really else to say. I mean, like, she served her purpose. When I was looking up like images of Victoria Cord, which really anything, it's like the only image I could find of like her in the movie. Did you know that like what's her name? Sharon Stone was originally set to play Victoria Cord first.
Yes, I remember that. Yes, I do remember.
I didn't know about that. I found that out like when I was finding images for the slides. I was like, huh. And then like, do you know why I couldn't find anything? Do you know why she dropped out of the role?
I don't remember if there's anything about why she dropped out. I think she might have just been like, couldn't do it or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember hearing. I just remember hearing like, oh, Sharon Stone's not doing it too since Raven is. And I was like, oh, that's a good second pick.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, but yeah, I got nothing else to say. That's probably it on characters. But yeah, I mean, I was gonna also put a slide for like, cause like wifey Becky G plays Kaji Da in this. She voices it. And I'm just like, and you honestly you can't really tell, because it's just like Kaji Da doesn't really have like a personality or like has any like. She's not like Friday or Jarvis and she doesn't have that dynamic that, you know, Iron Man and Jarvis would have. So like,
yeah.
Well, I feel like they could have done that, which kind of would have made it a little bit better. But
they have done that. I mean, like that's in the comics a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the Scarab does have some comedic timing.
Yeah, especially like when you see him in Young Justice, like they always have banter back and forth within Kami's head all the time. So like, I was just like, oh, they could have leaned into that more and give, you know, Becky G more stuff to work with, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, so we're just going on to the theories portion. And yeah, so the only thing I really have for theories, for just to start off rip is obviously post credit scene. Because obviously I mentioned Ted Cord, the second Blue Beetle, sorry, Dan Garrett's first Blue Beetle, ends up, you know, at the end of the movie, Ginny Cord goes down to the Beetle Cave, and is working on some stuff. She leaves the room, and then a transmission on his screen shows up saying that like, oh yeah, Ted Cord is alive, and yeah, like that was kind of like the only big like drop that happened at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie. And yeah, man, I mean, listen, it doesn't really do much now because James Gunn's rebooting the franchise, but if he does come back, I would love to have him come back, and then I want to see him in the costume, know what I mean? And yeah, I would if I would cast anybody, I think Jason Sudeikis would be perfect, but like I understand people want Zach Braff still, but I think Zach Braff's a little too old. So yeah.
Zach Braff's a little too old, and I feel like Zach Braff would be a better Booster Gold without. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
But I know that the crew, the director and writers all said that they were like, yeah, we really want Jason Sudeikis to be Beetle too.
Oh, did they say that? I don't know.
Yeah. They were talking about how they were like, yeah, we wanted Jason Sudeikis too. We'd love for Jason Sudeikis to be Beetle. Mm-hmm. So like, maybe it'll happen, but yeah. I can totally see them. This post-credit scene, I don't think it's going to mean any. It's not going to mean anything because when the DC universe becomes James Gunn's DC universe, Ted Cord is going to be there, and it's going to. They're not going to mention this at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why they kept him. That's why they kept. Yeah. That's why they let this movie continue in the first place. So like,
which is why I think it's they're just going to do the thing where like Xolo's going to show up. Whoever plays Ted Cord is going to show up, and they're not going to mention this movie, but they're going to let this movie, happen if you wanted it to happen. You know what I mean? Where like it's in continuity, not in continuity. Like we're not going to specifically overwrite stuff that makes it completely non-canon, but like we also aren't going to reference it again.
But we got a comment real quick. Says this movie was fire. Yes, it was. And people should see it. Go and see it, or while it's still in theaters. But yeah, I mean, I was happy that they confirmed, that Ted Cord's alive, and like obviously, like if the DCEU was still happening, we'd probably see him. But hopefully, James Gunn in his new DC universe is gonna put him in, and yeah, I really hope they get Jason Sudeikis. That'd be nice. But do you think they're gonna have an actor for Dan Garrett as well, like in the future?
I don't know if they're gonna go so far as to Dan Garrett. They might have the way they did Atom Smasher in Black Adam. Yeah. Where it was the Fonz for like 2 seconds. Like that's probably all you're gonna get is like they just show like a picture of Dan Garrett, and it's like a really goofy famous actor who they just got to come in and take a picture with like a thumbs up. Me personally, I think it'd be really funny if they just took a picture of Bill Hader giving a thumbs up and was like, "Yeah, there's Dan Garrett. He fucking died like 10 years ago."
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I guess just to move on to like the last section. I mean, we kind of already talked about it already.
Yeah, we already talked about
what's the future of Blue Beetle and all that. But obviously. Yeah. James Gunn's probably gonna weave him over, and because he's doing Booster Gold. The Booster Gold show is confirmed.
I was gonna say,
we're gonna get a version of Blue and Gold in his new DCU, and like I feel like obviously because Xolo is great in the role. Like obviously he wanted this movie to succeed, so he's probably gonna not only weave in. So we're gonna see the first like live action appearance of Ted Cord, but also weave in Xolo as Jaime. So like, and plus it works to the point where like this movie is an intro to the character, and like they can easily just cut some of this stuff out and like they can just weave him in easily. He even said it himself that like Blue Beetle this movie isn't a part of his DCU, but Blue Beetle as a character is. So he already gave us the green light that we're probably gonna see Xolo as Jaime again, and probably even the other Reyes members maybe again. But yeah. I think it'll be fun. And I have both these images here because I want to see both Ted Cord and Blue Beetle and Booster Gold together, but also I want to see Booster Gold interact with Jaime as well because that just makes sense and it'd be kind of funny. But But yeah, I mean, do you have any more thoughts on the Seamus?
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier. I
Yeah.
think that unless James Gunn has a crazy plan to like have him, you know what I mean? Unless he's pulling like a Mr. Terrific and Superman type thing with Blue Beetle, where he's going to show up randomly in one of the other movies. I think the first time you're probably going to see him is in the Booster Gold TV show. I mean, yeah, the only other place you could see him is like that's coming out before Blue Beetle. I think is like maybe Batman Brave and the Bold. Just you know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
Blue Beetle was like on that show. Fuck them. Even though it is mostly about Damien, but it'd be funny to have Batman have like little Jaime running around with Damien, and Jaime's just like, this kid's fucking insane. Batman's like, yeah, it's insane.
Actually, yeah. I'll spin on that. Do you? Because I was thinking this for a while. Do you think it would be since if James Gunn would weave in Jaime into this DC universe? Do you think he might be doing like a Teen Titans situation?
I could totally see him easily doing like a his version of Teen Titans.
Yeah.
My only problem with that is that as much as I love James Gunn, he really likes to adapt like classic base comic teams. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like if he did Teen Titans, I feel like he would do, Robin, Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because that's the classic incarnation.
Yeah, but yeah, in this case though, because if he's doing Brave and the Bold and Damien's Robin, then he has to do the Titans version where they're all adults already.
Yeah, where they're all adults. I could see him doing that, and then I could see him doing Young Justice movie with like Titans in there and Blue Beetle and shit. Because I feel like that would be. It's very weird to see because, like, given the movies that he has announced and the projects he's announced, it's a little weird to see like where, like, I don't know where he's going with it, but you know what I mean. Like, I can't really get a read on because why would you have Booster Gold so early in your universe? What?
Yeah.
What is Booster Gold like? I love Booster Gold and Swamp Thing.
So do I.
Why the fuck are they like in your like first 5? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Why are creature commandos in there? And I feel like we're not really gonna get like a lot of answers to this shit until that stuff comes out, and then we start seeing like, oh, maybe that's where Jaime's gonna fit in. But
maybe
right now it's mostly up in the air in terms of when he's gonna show up, but at least he's gonna show up.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, obviously James Gunn has plans, and I want to see more of Xolo. So he deserves more of a bag, especially after this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see. I'm excited to see it when we see more of him again. But yeah, I mean, so I'll just real quick talk about like the reception of the movie so far because obviously this movie had a lot of shit going against it, which we've mentioned in multiple podcasts before. The fact that coming off The Flash and that bombing like crazy, being one of the most like biggest superhero bombs in a superhero movie, and also the fact that people just have DCEU fatigue due to the various other movies we've seen in the past like 6 to 8 years just not doing very well. That this movie just I don't think anyone was really interested in seeing another DCEU movie. So that was going against it. Also, due to the actors now going on strike that 2 months ago, like last month, 2 months ago, I forgot the amount of time, but they were not allowed to do actors are not allowed to do press junkets anymore to promote films. So the only promotion that this movie got from the actual actors was Xolo on Soy and the Mormon spitting bars, which was great, but also just like damn, like so no actors could do any promotion except for like the director because the director's on strike. And yeah, so DC fatigue and little to no promotion was kind of going against it, and the budget for the movie is 104 million, so like a lot of money, but like not like crazy amount like The Flash where it was like 200 million or a little more. And I'm trying to look up the box office, how much money this movie has made as of right now. So the movie, I think worldwide, has earned about like I think it says right here like almost like a little more than 100 million, so like 120 million. I think I'm trying to find it, but I'm not I think last time I saw it was like okay, never mind. Yeah, so it's made 100. Oof, yeah, it made 104 million.
I saw just above 104.
104, which I mean, it's still considered, I guess, a flop because it in order to break even had to make at least twice its budget.
I think that that's a larger issue with movies the movie industry as a whole now. That I think the budgets are so inflated that like most movies are going to be considered a flop. Because if you're putting out The Flash with an almost $300 million budget, there's no way you can make that shit back.
Exactly. So, but yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. One thing is, it's gonna, as Seamus told me like before we started, it's gonna go to digital pretty soon. So hopefully, it, like, is able to make some money on like the streaming VOD circuit. So yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, overall though the reviews have been positive. Like I think it has on Rotten Tomatoes, the trusty site Rotten Tomatoes, 78%, which is still fresh score. 6.7 on IMDb out of 10. Like yeah, so it's getting overall positive reviews so far, which hopefully it has that going for it, and obviously hopefully with other YouTubers and people making content on like did reviews around the time it came out, and us like get people to see the movie through word of mouth. So I mean, yeah, it is what it is, but hopefully it won't change how if we're gonna see him in the future or not. So yeah. But yeah, all right, Seamus. So overall, what's final thoughts and what's the verdict on Blue Beetle?
Solid 8. I recommend. It's a fun watch. It's not even that long either. It's literally I forget the runtime, but it's not long.
Yeah.
I would recommend. It's coming out on digital in the next 2 weeks, so like I would recommend picking it up and just watching it. It's a good little movie.
Yeah, it's a good little movie. I'd say this movie was a lot of fun. I was entertained through the whole course of the movie. Obviously there's some nitpicks that I have with it, but I mean obviously like Xolo did a really good job in the role, like practically born to play Jaime Reyes. The family dynamic is great, and just like this overall like the idea of what I can see James Gunn doing with him gets me very excited for when we get that official green light that he's going to be a part of the Gunverse. It gives me a lot of joy as a Jaime fan. It gives me a lot of joy. But yeah, I give this movie I think 7.5, 8. Like it's good. It's a solid movie. And I recommend it to people who haven't watched it already. Also, people check out the comics. Like that first initial run with Keith Giffen, his introduction is really good, and Blue Beetle Graduation Day that came out last year. I think either last year or early this year. Is also really good, and his first issue of his new series just dropped today. So, yeah, so check out all that stuff. Read the comics, watch Young Justice, play Injustice. Watch Young Justice, play Justice 2. Like, come on, like show more of the character love. He's an amazing character. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it, people. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I'll just do the outro then. But yeah, thanks for everyone who are watching this or will watch this. We appreciate it. Again, sorry for the wait because a lot of setbacks have happened trying to get this review out of the way. So we appreciate the fact that we appreciate the patience. And hopefully you agree with our thoughts. What do you think of the movie? That's my question. Like, did you watch it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you want to see Jaime more in the Gunverse when that drops? Let us know. But yeah, I mean. Any like Seamus plugs to announce? Actually, yeah, Seamus, you want to talk about the new podcast that you were?
Yeah. I mean, you're on that too, so like
I am on that.
You can talk about that. I mean, I can't really. I mean, the person who should be plugging it isn't even here.
But I mean,
I don't even know what the hell did we call it.
We don't even have
a name.
We don't have a name for it. That's how dope this podcast.
If you can find this unnamed podcast, that I'm sure there will be a link in the description, because we can't exactly say go find this podcast. We don't have a name for it, but yeah. Me, Mikey, and our friend Storm, we're doing another podcast now, which we will title soon, hopefully, so we can get some branding out there. But it's primarily focused on anime. If you're more into that. We already covered One Punch Man and One Piece live action just the other day. The live action episode should be going up soon, so
Soon.
watch
I'm
out for
excited
that.
for that.
Yeah. That was a fun. It was a good one.
Yeah.
Mikey's gonna start watching all of One Piece, all 1,700. I started my third rewatch this morning. I mean,
which is insane. Like you're insane.
I can't tell you how many snaps I got that are like, "Hey, are you okay? Like mentally?"
Are you okay?
And I was like,
but yeah, I'll probably drop a link in the community tab so people can check out the channel. But yeah, no, it's I'm privileged to be on it. I'm having a lot of fun being on it because these guys are like diehard like weeboos. I'm a somewhat otaku because I love anime as well, but I don't watch them as much as they do. So it's gonna be my not resurgence, but me slowly getting back into anime again because I've been focusing on other stuff to watch. But yeah, it's been great so far. I've been liking talking about One Punch Man and because I love One Punch Man and talking about the live action One Piece which dropped, which I surprisingly really loved, and you're getting more of my thoughts when that video drops. But yeah, that's been fun. We'll have a name for it soon, and I'll plug it some more every time Seamus is on. But yeah, besides that, I mean, I don't have anything else to plug for the channel. I mean, obviously we're on break with Deadly Class right now. So I think we're gonna probably
we're covering the boys soon, right? We're covering the whole boys comic.
No,
we're doing.
As I said before, that's the one podcast that I will never start because I hate the boys. But yeah, yes, we're on break on Deadly Class right now, so we might pick that up maybe sometime in October or November. It just depends on because we have a lot of stuff we're trying to get out of the way right now and plan. So just be on the lookout for them. Just be patient because I appreciate all the love I'm getting for that series because I love covering Deadly Class. But yeah, I mean, just check out the recent recommendation I did for the Ambassadors by Mark Miller and a bunch of various artists for Miller Worlds. Check that out. Check out all the Deadly Class stuff. Check out the clips. Check out the WA, WGA, and SAG clip that I dropped like 3 weeks ago because it's important and people should know what's going on and just hear our thoughts about it. Check out some of the reactions. Check out some of the previous Barbie review that we dropped that Maddie and Rebecca did together. Yeah, and check out all the other content we have. There's a lot of stuff out there that we have on our channel that I put. We have not just me, but a lot of us put a lot of work into, and we want y'all to check it out. It's good stuff. And yeah, but I will drop a little tease because obviously next month is spooky season. It's Halloween. It's one of my favorite times of the year. And me and Rebecca and I have been talking and trying to plan something to do special because we had a spooky special last year. We covered the book Infidel by Pornsock Picture Show, which is a great book. But we feel like we're gonna probably think about maybe having a whole month of horror and do a couple of books throughout the course of the month and horror themed stuff throughout the course of the month. So yeah, I'll probably make an announcement for that soon of what we might be covering and all that stuff when we get a more concrete idea of what we're gonna do. But yeah, it's a whole spooky Indie Corner Spooky Month. That's happening. And Seamus, I don't know what your thoughts on that. Are you down now? Are you excited?
I got books that I've been telling you we should do. There are some recent books that I've read that maybe have just finished in the past year that I said we should do.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and what we're cooking up, I think, is gonna be it's gonna be something special, and I'm really excited about it.
Some books that may involve houses upon lakes.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks again for all the support. We love y'all. We appreciate it. Want to keep growing. That's the goal. Comment, like, subscribe. Again, what do you think of Blue Beetle? What are your thoughts on it? And as always, get home safe, and we'll catch y'all next time. All right. Peace.